What up, peeps? It's your super sketch artist Antonio back with another episode of Run It Back. And since it is it's Superman Day, and also it is Good Friday, and it is the last day of Scott Porter's unboxing videos, which have been very, very interesting. I decided to run back a figure that is on the box of the upcoming Smash and Destroy set, and that is none other than the Hulk. But the Hulk as a horseman of apocalypse. In my last episode of Run It Back, I did Thor as the Herald of Galactus. This time I'm doing Hulk as the horseman of apocalypse. Now, let's jump right into it. First and foremost, this is a beautiful sculpt. This is absolutely just a beautiful sculpt. The very first Hulk as a horseman showed up in GSX, which is Giant Size X-Men, a long time ago. He was, I think, 199 points. I love that piece. The sculpt was great. And this sculpt, while tiny, now this is a tiny sculpt. WizKids, can you stop making giants tiny? Because he's a giant and he is tiny. I mean, even the Thor is bigger than him, just physically bigger than him. So can we scale? Can we work on the scaling? I know this is a big figure, and this probably would have been really big, and I know the whip is there, but I would have loved to see this in the bigger scale as well. With that being the case, let's get down to this dial. He has horseman, armor, brute, and monster keyword. All good keywords, so I would keep that. He is cosmic energy. I would also keep that because that's amazing. The one thing that I would probably do is I would erase most of this first trait that he has, which is the second horseman, war. If an opposing character was damaged this turn, modify Hulk's plus attack +1. If an opposing character was KO'd this turn, modify his attack +2 instead. Now, the issue with this was he is 225 points as is up top, and he is only 50 points down low. So the issue then becomes, what do you do with 225 points? In a normal 300 game, you only have that 75 points. And while 75 points gets you a lot more than it did when this figure first debuted, it still doesn't get you enough, simply because he starts off with a 10 attack. Now, he also came out at a time where they were doing something called benching powers. They benched powers, and the power that they benched was invincible. So first thing I would do is erase this trait, and instead I would put the Hulk can reduce penetrating damage. That in itself makes it so that he has a reducer as whole dial. Since it can't be outwitted anyway, it also just can't be penetrated, which means now you have to really slog through this dial, because if not, any person that has Psychic Blast can just eat through him, and eating through the Hulk is something that no one should ever really be doing. I would also add to that trait, Hulk can be assigned equipment. That allows him as a giant to be able to have something like the +1 longsword that he gets for free as a brute, or just any equipment that you might actually also have on him. Next, I will go to this attack power that he has. And as it stands, it says Blaze Claw's Fangs. When he uses it, it also deals damage equal to half the D6 result to each untargeted opposing character adjacent to the Hulk. What I would actually do is I would give him close combat expert and along with the blades, and then I would say after actions resolve, place a hit character adjacent to the Hulk. Why? Because he has this whip, and he was whipping the Juggernaut in the comic book with that. So I would make it so that when he hits you, whips you with it, and then pulls you close to him. With that being the case, that's what I would do. Because that attack power, especially on those first 4 clicks, he only has a 10 attack. So that's not really hitting the average defense in the game. The back end, or well, right after that power, he has a speed power, which is Charge Flurry, which I actually would keep. I wouldn't do anything with that because Charge Flurry is always good, especially on someone who has +2 to their to the giant reach, and just being a giant that you cannot wait. Just this makes this piece an absolute monster. Lastly, on his stop click, instead of the invuln, I would actually make it impervious. What it would do is he would start and end with the impervious instead of the invulnerability. And what else? I would take away the regen simply because he has the steel energy. I would make you work for the regen, and I still would have the safeguard opposing probability control that he actually has, just so when he does hit, you can't make him re-roll out of it. He only has that 9 attack, so if you did equip him with, say, something like the +1 longsword, you still get that +1 attack. And now he doesn't have any of these like different the taking away the trait means that he doesn't have to worry about someone else hitting for him to get an attack buff. Now, the main thing that really hindered this figure was his point value. 225 points is just not swinging it in today's game unless you are broken. And even with the modifications that I have, he's still not broken. He's very good. He's not broken though. So I would bump him down to probably 175. And what I would do is I would move up that starting line. Instead of it making it 50, I would probably start it right at around click 7. Now, at 50 points as a chase, who wouldn't want to play a charge flurry piece with 12 attack, 5 damage, with impervious that he can, kind of stop, or, he can reduce penetrating damage? Who wouldn't want to play that? And it takes you to a stop click. Now, of course, you could, of course, hit him with trick arrows, all the different things, but who wouldn't want to play this figure? And that's what the whole Run It Back, series is about. It's about making a character more playable. At 170, if you gave me this whole dial, which is 10 clicks for 175 points, I would love to play a Hulk like that, because the other Hulk that was very expensive that I loved playing was the 200 point Avengers. What was I think Avengers Forever? Or Avengers 60, no, Avengers Forever. That Hulk, the Thunderclap Hulk at 200 points, to me was worth every single bit of that point value. So I would love, 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 love to have a 175 Hulk that is just a monster. He's a chase. And I feel that if you're going to be a high rarity piece and a beautiful sculpt and a dial that's not bad, but you have to have some kind of something point value wise that can constrict and make people completely ignore a figure. And we don't want to ignore a figure that looks this good and it has a good enough dial, good movement, good damage values. And again, if you can equip him, now you can put something, now you can absolutely make him a monster, which is what he should be. This is a powered up version of the Hulk. This isn't just the normal Hulk. This is a Hulk with tech from Apocalypse. Think about that for a second. And the dial really shows it, especially mid dial. You get this guy mid dial, and now you got something. And again, I wouldn't put I would put the starting line right after that 12-5 that he has with the 19 defense, so you can't get such good stats for cheap. But still, 11-4 with close combat expert with charge flurry, I'll take that every day of the week. And he still can be shot from range because giants are just super huge, and that's just a thing that they do. But that is what I probably would do if I were to run this back. I absolutely loved seeing this piece before it had come out. So seeing the actual dial and seeing what it was, I was devastated at how you had to play this. And again, you essentially made people hit you, and then he could heal back up. And that's just not the way I like to play any figure. I don't want them to be good simply because they're getting hurt. And the Hulk should be good even if he gets hurt, not because he got hurt. And with the modifications that I have, he would actually be able to do that, coming in with an 11 attack instead of that 10. Just that one little, point of bumping up attack might be the difference between him missing and him hitting like maybe an 18 or 19 base defense that most people have nowadays. But with that being the case, this was a real quick one. What say you? What do you think? Did you enjoy this figure? Do you have this figure? Leave some comments down below. I love this Heroclix. I write down every piece that someone suggests. The next piece that's probably coming up is my teammate Makanos that I won Team Worlds with. He suggested a figure that he loves called Doug from Thor: The Dark World, and I'm contemplating how I would kind of run him back because I like what he already does, but his point value is just absurd. So he doesn't have a whole bunch of traits or anything like that. So maybe we could spruce him up. So he'll probably be on the next episode. But let me know what you thought, what characters that you would want to see run back, and I would love to just talk some clicks with you. As always, it is your super sketch artist Antonio. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Go be super.